Hey, what's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about 5 small habits that you can do that will make you drastically improve as a filmmaker or as any other creative entrepreneur. Now, I just finished Turning Pro by Steven Pressfield for the second time, and he says that the real difference between amateurs and professionals really all comes down to habits. Now, I don't know if I would consider myself a pro just yet. I think I still have to put in a lot more reps, but I think that through adopting a few small habits, I've been really improving my workflow, my productivity, my creativity, and I think I'm working toward my goals a lot better. So I'm going to share with you these 5 small habits with you that I think could greatly improve your productivity as well. Now, depending on your will or your attention span, these habits may not be so easy for you to adopt, but I think after trying them out for at least a few times, you may start to see some real improvement very soon. So let's get into it. 5 good small habits that you can do that I believe will make you greatly improve as a filmmaker. So number 1 is simplify your work. Schedule smaller blocks of time for you to complete a very specific yet very essential task. And when I say essential, it's a matter of what's vital and what's necessary to accomplishing your goals. So for instance, maybe you set aside just 2 to 3 hours of putting together an assembly cut for one of your videos, or maybe it's putting aside an hour or 2 of, reaching out to clients or building your website, whatever it may be. Just breaking things down into those smaller increments, I guess you could say, in order for you to focus on one particular task that will get you to your goals. I think as entrepreneurs, we sort of romanticize the 16+ hour work day that we see from so many guys like Gary Vaynerchuk or Kevin O'Leary even. No disrespect to them, I love all of them, but I think people are starting to wake up and realize that it is a lot better to set aside less but more quality, more focused time to do your work. I can't tell you how many times I have woken up one day and I've said, okay, for 8 hours today or 12 hours today, I'm just gonna grind it out nonstop and I'm gonna have this entire edit done, for instance. And sure enough, I would find myself just burnt out creatively, having zero energy, having zero focus, mindlessly clicking through clips on the timeline, just really not being productive. When you break apart your work into those smaller increments, you compartmentalize, I really think that's a better approach, from what I've found lately. Rome was not built in a day, and you're certainly not going to create a masterpiece within a day, I don't think. So don't try to accomplish everything today, because it's not going to happen. You're not going to achieve all your goals today. It's going to take some time. So just trust that process and work with it by compartmentalizing and coming up with a strategy for your day, and be realistic about it too. I think that habit has really improved my productivity a lot. Now, the second habit to adopt is probably the hardest habit, which is eliminating distractions. I touched on this in my last video, but it really is important. In a nutshell, just put your phone away. That's probably one of the best things you could do to eliminate your distractions. Just put your phone away, out of reach, so that way you can focus on your work. Me, for instance, another thing I get distracted by is, I love to look out the window. I love to gaze out into the nice blue sky. So sometimes I feel it's best to pull back the curtains, or maybe you have to shut your Wi-Fi off, or maybe you need to close your door, whatever it may be. You'll never achieve what's called the focus zone if you are surrounded by distractions. Or better yet, unless you know how to deal with distractions and learn to ignore them, then you won't be able to achieve the focus zone. Now, Steven Pressfield also talks about this in Turning Pro. So the amateurs are very distracted. Pros are not distracted. If you need to eliminate distractions like putting your phone away, turning off your Wi-Fi, what have you, whatever you need to do that will just allow you to stay focused on your work, then do it. Once you do that, it won't be as challenging for you to achieve the focus zone and grind it out like you're Bradley Cooper in Limitless. Now, the third habit is something that's probably obvious, but it's very important, and that is read. Read more. Read books that will help you improve your technique, your state of mind, or your life as a whole, whatever it may be. I just finished reading The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson on Audible. It was a great book. It really helped me how I approach business and life in general, for that matter. With that said, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Audible. Please don't skip ahead. Hear me out here, okay? Now, Audible is the source for audiobooks, and when you sign up, you get your first 3 months for free. For free. How great is that? And you can listen to Audible when you're doing chores, when you're driving, maybe when you're working out, whatever it may be. It's like listening to podcasts. It's great. I don't see why one would not want to sign up for something like that. It's great, and I think it's only $14.95 a month after your free trial. It's totally worth it. I would highly recommend it. Now, I will have an affiliate link down below. It won't cost you a penny more when you sign up through that link. It just helps support the channel, so please go sign up for Audible today. Now, the next habit I have that I think would make you greatly improve as a filmmaker, yet it's very simple, is writing. Take some time out of your day to just write down your thoughts. You don't necessarily need to come up with a groundbreaking idea. Just write down what's going on in your head. Brainstorm, whatever it may be. Write down, reflecting your day. Whatever it is, just get in the habit of writing. I find that when I get in the habit of writing at least 15 to 30 minutes a day, it's a good practice, and even if you don't come up with any groundbreaking ideas, it still allows you to tap into your sort of subconscious, I think, and to really be aware of your own thoughts, which I think just self-awareness in general is huge when you're trying to go anywhere in life. And maybe you could come up with some cool ideas when you're writing, brainstorming ideas. Getting in the practice of writing can really amplify the right hemisphere of your brain, and more specifically, find what part in the day you feel most creative. I find I'm a little more creative around nighttime, just before bed. That's when the right hemisphere of my brain tends to kick in a little bit more, especially if I'm listening to some good music. I think that's a good writing time for me, and that's usually what I stick to right before bed. At least in my experience, I think writing has helped me a lot with being creative, or just in general, like I said, being self-aware. So I think that would be a great practice for you all to try. Now, the fifth habit is probably the most important habit and probably the most obvious, but that's just taking care of your overall health. Take good care of your body, protect the asset. I'd love it if I could just stuff pizza and cheesecake and down Modelo's down my stupid fucking hole every night, but I know that that isn't a good idea. And I know that by just regularly eating good, nutritious foods and working out regularly, it's not only good for my physical body and helps me look good, but it's good for my mental health as well. It helps the soul. I do notice that on days where I am eating right, I am working out well, then that's when I tend to be pretty productive. I tend to be creative, and I work much better efficiently. And also, please make sure to get lots of sleep every night. I always try to get at least 8 hours of sleep every night so I can feel refreshed and ready the next day. I think the old school entrepreneurs and politicians, etc., used to glorify sleeping only 6 hours or 4 hours a night so that they could have more time during the day to work toward their goals. But I think people are starting to realize that that's not the case. You do need to get lots of rest so that you have more quality hours during the day to do your work. Even guys like Jeff Bezos say that they always try to get 8 to 9 hours of sleep every night. There was actually a study done on professional violinists, and the ones that exceeded the most in their career, the ones that were the top elite, best in their instrument, they all got at least 9 hours of sleep every night, plus a 2 to 3 hour nap. It might have been less hours, but it was much more quality hours so that they could focus 100% on their craft. But the point being, it's much better to just get lots of sleep so you can still have much more quality hours to do your work during the day. That's what I think. That's my opinion. Now, don't go away just yet, because I have a bonus habit for you, and that is meditation. This is something that I am trying to get back into. I used to do it quite a lot. About a year ago, I was doing meditation every day for months. I was on a real streak. But now I'm trying to get back into it. There's different types of meditations to try. There's reflection, there's visualization, which are all great, but one that I really try to practice the most is mindfulness. Mindfulness is basically just observing your thoughts, observing what's around you, and just looking at all those things with no judgment. And I find that just meditation really just improves my state of being, makes me a little more grounded, more level-headed as I go through the murky waters of filmmaking and just in life in general. Another thing you could try that I think counts as meditation is gratitude. Just taking a moment or so out of your day and just being grateful for everything you have in your life. Some people like to write this down, all of it, but I find that just getting up out of bed first thing in the morning and just pondering, thinking about all the great things in my life that I'm so happy to have. You know, that can really start my day off with a good positive mindset, and that is very helpful when I'm ready to grind it out and plan to win the attack, you know? Now, I know I sound like a real hippie here or whatever, but just trust me on this, you know, getting in the habit of meditating and being grateful, at least just for a few minutes out of your day, could really make a difference in your mindset and how you approach life. You know, just trust me on this. Just try that out. So those are my small habits for you that you should do if you want to improve as a filmmaker. Look guys, I'm no expert here, I'm still young, I'm still learning, but as I continue to learn and grow, I want to share some of my knowledge with you. And this was something that I have thought about lately, and I wanted to just share this with you. Hopefully it inspires you. If you're struggling, maybe you'll want to replace some of your bad habits with some good habits. So again, I hope this helped. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Please follow me on Instagram. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like or a comment, because that helps with the algorithm so that my channel gets seen by more people on YouTube. So thanks again for watching, guys. I hope this helped. I will see you all in the next video. God bless. Take it easy.